What's up, YouTube? It is Reagan here, back again with another video. So guys, I am cuddled in and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about interview tips. If you are preparing for a nursing interview, there are certain things that will make you stand out and help you get that specialty unit job. So if you're interested, stay tuned. Whew, Jesus. Okay. I am a new graduate nursing student. I graduated in December. I've went on interviews before that weren't nursing related and have done well. But for some reason, I was freaking out about what to expect from a nursing interview. I applied to several positions and actually got job offers from the positions that I was really interested in working in. So therefore, I have experience in being able to share with you tips that will help your application and your interview style stand out. So my first tip to you would be get experience in the field surrounding the specialty you want to work in. Okay, so you might be saying, well, Reagan, I'm not really sure what specialty I want to work in. Well, if you are watching this video and you're about to graduate, it would be my suggestion to you to kind of sit back and think about what you enjoy doing during your clinicals. And whatever you enjoy doing and whatever you're really good at, 9 times out of 10, that's going to be the specialty unit for you. The other thing is, if you're not about to graduate, but you know there is a particular area that you want to work in, I would say A, try to go ahead and get a tech position in that field. This will not only help you get experience, it will also help you network with the people that you will possibly be working with if you end up working at that particular hospital. It's great and it helps you really hone in and get the job that you want versus just accepting any job. If there are classes in the particular field that you want to go in, then go ahead and jump into those classes. For example, my first love is labor and delivery in women's services and women's health. So back in 2018, I signed up for a Lamaze childbirth educator course because that's my first love. That is what I wanted to do. Back in 2016, I also took a doula prep training. So I am a DONA trained doula, and I also had that to add to my application, which kind of helped my application stand out when I did apply for a labor and delivery position. Here in our local area, supposedly for a specialty unit as a new nurse, you do not supposed to be able to get a job as a new grad in a specialty unit. And that would be your ICU, your labor and delivery, your ER type positions. You have to stay tuned to see whether I got the job or not. But I'm just gonna tell you, these type things help your application stand out. Tip number 2, know your why. Know the reason why you want to work in the specialty that you want to work in. This definitely will come up in the interview. Most directors or nurse managers want to know why you chose to be a nurse. Typically, they want to know why you want to work in a specialty. So my suggestion to you is, before the interview, definitely sit down and think about what your why is. For instance, my why for wanting to work in labor and delivery is because I was a young mom. It was the nurses that assisted me during my doctor's office visits and during my labor who taught me, childbirth education, who taught me how to care for my baby before my baby even got to the earth. So I got all that during my doctor's visits, and it was the nurse that was handing down that information and that education to me. During that time, that was vital, because being 16 and being pregnant, you have no idea what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. So I really, really appreciated having the opportunity to have those courses. So with that being said, you need to know why you chose the field of nursing, and you need to know why you're choosing the specialty that you're choosing. Have a story to tell for those questions before you even get to the interview. Be confident in it. The third tip that I have for you, oh my gosh, y'all, my nose is just like, sorry. The third tip that I have for you, have an answer for the question, tell me a little bit about yourself. Typically, that comes up in every single interview. What you do not want to do is go through and tell them about your hobbies. No, sis. We don't care that you like to read. We don't care that you ride horses. What we care about is your educational journey and your job experience. What makes you qualified to take this job in the specialty unit? What the answer to that question looks like is, well, I graduated high school in blah, blah, blah. After graduating high school, I quickly got a job in blah, blah, blah. After I got a job in blah, 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 I worked in the industry for blah, blah, blah years, doing blah, blah, blah things and blah, blah, blah. So you fill in the blah, blahs, and I hope I'm not, mixing you up with my blah. But you get the idea. Tell me a little bit about yourself is not asking really what your hobbies are. And sometimes that can be misconstrued in interviews. So I want you to get that right before you even go in the door. Write it down, write it out, get it ready, and then make it your own. So that when that question comes up in your interview, you know what story you're going to tell at that time. Okay. So the fourth tip that I have for you is networking. Oh my goodness. Networking is so important. And you say, well, why, Reagan? Well, in networking, you're able to get to know people, whether you're doing your clinicals at a particular hospital and it's a hospital that you want to work at, or if you're going to different events surrounding healthcare and you get to meet people in healthcare. This actually will also help you with the interview process, because knowing the people that works on the floor already and developing that rapport with them will help you stand out when it's time for the interview. So for instance, for me, on one of the interviews that I went on, a lot of the staff on the floor already knew who I was because they worked with me very closely during the clinical experience that I had there on the unit. They knew how I worked, they helped me while I was there, and we had a very good relationship, and they were excited about being able to possibly work with me, and they were excited that I was able to even get an interview for the unit. So networking is very important. So during your clinicals, understand that you are being watched the whole time. These are people that can possibly be your next employers. So make sure you're doing a good job and take it seriously. So the fifth tip I have for you is know what you can add to the unit, and also know how you can add to the unit. So for instance, in my position that I applied for, I know that I've had a childbirth educator course. So in my interview, I relayed that to the nurse manager. Well, I took a Lamaze childbirth educator course, and I'm also interested in teaching if there is an opportunity. The nurse manager was overjoyed. I have over 20 years experience in the healthcare industry, whether it be from working front office or working in medical billing. So if there are administrative tasks that need to, be done alongside of nursing responsibilities, I can fit well in those positions as well. So know what you can add to the position. Know what you can add to the facility. Have that written out and ready to be able to communicate if you're asked. And even if you're not asked, you can always bring up, some of your experiences and how you can add to the floor. Okay? The sixth tip I have for you is to be familiar with the hospital's mission statement. I cannot express how important this is. This really gives you an opportunity to shine during the interview because not only do you know the hospital's mission statement, but you also have picked out ways that the way that you are as a person and as a nurse aligns with that mission statement. For instance, the hospital I'll be working at, one of the parts of the mission statement was to be able to provide personalized care to patients. Well, that's super important to me, especially in the labor and delivery venue. You cannot expect everybody to come in, lay on their back, and push babies out, okay? One person might want a more natural labor. The other person might want the epidural as soon as they walk in the door. But it is our responsibility to be sensitive to the care that we give to our patients and make sure that it's individualized to be able to empower the patients that we work with. So this is very important, and I cannot tell you how it will make you shine during your interview. The seventh tip I have for you is to be authentic and have your story to tell. So, what is your story? What is your backstory? You know, how did you get to where you are today? Be ready to share that with the nurse manager if that comes up, so that during this time that you have together, whether it be 30 minutes or an hour, they really get a glimpse of who they will be hiring. Have your story ready and make sure that you're being authentic. Confidence is also important during this time. Authenticity and confidence goes a long way. So during this interview process, you want to make sure that you're exuding confidence. This is really going to help you, stand out. It's going to help your employer or your nurse manager not only get to know you as a person, but also get excited to be able to work with you. The eighth tip that I have for you is to write down good questions to ask about the unit. Never leave an interview without questions. There are questions that you have. Whether the questions be about the unit, how did this position come available? What is a typical day like for a nurse on this unit? What is the census typically? What is the nurse to patient ratio? What do you guys usually strive for? Are there any challenges that you're facing on the unit currently?
When am I going to get hired? No, I'm just kidding. Don't ask them that.
But definitely have questions ready to ask, because it shows not only your interest, but it also shows them that you are actively thinking about what could happen on the unit. It gives you an opportunity to also further share how you can add to the solution and not be a part of the problem. What does it say? So, I actually went on 2 interviews myself, and one was for an ortho unit, and the other was for a labor and delivery position. And I actually accepted the labor and delivery position. So you are looking at a new labor and delivery staff nurse, and I cannot be more excited. So in the upcoming weeks, I will be moving and getting prepared to start a new job in labor and delivery. So I'm here to tell you, if you already know what kind of unit you want to work on, strive to interview for those positions. Do a cover letter. Know before you go into that interview what you're going to say and how you plan to answer the questions. I hope this helps. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for apartment tour videos and all of the things that will be up and coming. I love you guys. If you have any further questions, definitely comment down below. Please let me know if these tips work for you. If you apply for a job and use these tips, let me know. If you get the job, I want to know. Talk to me. I'll talk to y'all later. Kisses.